Just want to warm up. Uncle Michael reduced his carbuncle to the size of a millimeter. Steamy Greg has 4 apples in his cart. Hello, welcome to the show. My name is Arnold Whipplebottom. Arnold Whipplebottom. Matty. Power, truth, angels. Power, full.
So
Truth,
smoky.
angels.
So
Story corner. We have to
Story corner.
We got to smoke
the
it up.
mood is set. The candles are lit. The roses are red, and the truths are told.
This is part 2 of the story of Matty Matheson, a man who's known no boundaries, no fear, no emotions. I like to call him the human goose asshole. One hole through everything enters and everything exits. Just a goddamn cavern of nothingness that somehow gravitates towards money and lasagna and restaurants and guest houses in Hancock Park and $30,000 vintage t-shirts. Let's fuck. All right, Maddie. Here's
Hi,
where we left
Alex.
off. Hi, my guy. Great to do this with you. We're doing
You're
it.
not strong.
I'm pretty strong. You know I'll smoke you.
That's what you said to me yesterday. When
That's
I
what you
like
said to
grabbed
me.
you and you're just like, you're not strong.
I did.
You like took your arm away from me. You're just like, you're not strong.
I
I wasn't holding on tight.
You were holding on for your dear life.
I wasn't holding on that tight.
So,
Sure.
Maddie, where we left off in the story,
where
the
do we left?
trajectory
There's
of
a
the
lot
medicine.
that's happened in between.
I want to start where we left off.
Don't acknowledge the iguana people.
Fuck.
Fuck the lizard people. Fuck
That
it.
was
What the
wild.
fuck was
The
that?
fucking photo, the story with the photo where his dead mom winked at him and then he almost killed everybody with a bat.
It's a lot.
That guy lives down the street and they know where I live. Just a heads up.
Dude,
And they
straight
have
up. They
mad
know where
reptiles.
you live, man.
They came in my house. Like, so much shit. The energy in my house is fucked
we
up.
need to smudge.
We need to smudge.
This
We should smudge
smoke-
after every episode.
We should smudge after this fucking episode.
I don't believe in all that shit, but bring in the shamans because my shit
Bro,
is my
lizard
energy.
people. Dennis said at one point that he has the lizards because the people come from lizards.
He said people are descended from lizards, which I don't really agree with.
I don't think so.
I've read some books. Anyways,
The Bible.
so the Bible says we came from ducks.
We came from ducks.
According to the
Or
Bible.
Goose's asshole.
Okay, so listen, where we left off. I like this.
I
part
think
of
there
the
was just a
story.
fight.
No, there's a fight. I like this. Let me tell the story.
Oh,
You guys beat these dudes up, threw them in the gutter, took their clothes, which is from an old pod, but you looped it into this pod. You ran in the house and started drinking fire water and yelling, and you guys went full Lord of
we're
the
amped
Flies. And your old man came down, smacked you in the face because he had to establish
just like
dominance.
backhanded me.
He backhanded you, but that's what he had to. As another alpha gorilla, he had to like. He came down. His primitive instincts came over. And he's like, if I don't smack somebody, they're gonna take over the roost.
And it was me.
He got the smack.
But
the
it was
baby
amazing.
boy.
It was amazing because I still think of it now, and I'm like, I remember him wearing his like shitty like house coat. You know, like your dad.
Like a wardrobe?
Yeah, like
Oh,
a
God.
like a coming down in like a house coat. It's pretty funny.
Like a tattered, like pink.
Yeah,
fucking
you can see like his
wardrobe.
dick was like throwing,
Oh.
like sleeping naked or something.
Dude, seeing your dad's dick like
It's the
throughout-
worst.
It's just I don't want. He's just seeing his old dick flopping around all the time. My dad used to walk around naked.
Your dad. I heard
every
about your
day of
dad
my
used to have
life.
a lot of cock rings.
There is a story where Jimmy and the boys were helping my dad move from one house to another, and Jimmy goes, "What's that, Alex?" And he points to the ground, and it's my dad's cock ring. And I didn't live that one down for about 5 years, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I come from a long line of perverts, so here we
I
are.
like that.
Oh, So where we left off, you guys stormed in the house. You tried to establish your dominance. The old man came.
We weren't establishing dominance. We were just wiling out. We were having a blast. We were killing it. We just beat up some dudes. It's the ultimate. Like beat up some guys, like stripped them naked. They called Trish a bitch, so we like worked them. It was great.
You worked him. Mom, make me a pot pie. Your dad came down and said,
Yeah,
Shut the
4 in the
fuck
morning,
up.
just screaming.
screaming.
Um,
So that was a good one. I like that
was
story.
a great one. That was a great story. So then that's like high school, and then you know, and then
Well, no, before we leave high school, let's go
Okay.
to my favorite story
which one's
about the beeve.
okay?
Is it prom
the
night?
ultimate?
The ultimate story. I know you've
Winter
told
formal.
it. Winter formal.
It's winter formal.
Now you've told this story a few times to me.
I've told
and
it all the
probably to other
time.
people.
I've told it many times.
But how can we make it better this time? What do we not know?
what do
are
we
some-
not know?
Yeah.
I think you know, it's winter semi-formal, you
Right.
know? Winter semi-formal. We're in Niagara Falls.
Right.
It's snowing out. It's late. Everyone's getting kicked out of the it's like a 2-story motel. You yawn so much on this fucking podcast. Makes me sick.
Thank you.
And so it's a 2-story podcast or whatever. Ow! It's a 2-story like fucking motel.
Okay.
And there's fucking all the fucking piece of shit cops are showing up. There's a bunch of like fucking little fights. People are smashing in windows, kicking in windows, fucking whatever.
Just Canadian chaos.
Yeah, like everyone's just like whatever. A bunch of, you know, white hopped up kids in Niagara Falls. And all of a sudden the cops show up and the cops are fucking around. We ran down because it's before cell phones. So we ran down to a payphone to call my parents and be like, hey, you got to come pick us up. The party's busted up. And then we're walking back to the motel and we can see that fucking obviously my brother and a cop are kind of fucking around. They're arguing, they're doing something. And we all kind of like fucking circle this cop and we're like, what the fuck you doing? And my brother's like, hey, he fucking like, he kind of cuffed me in the face. And we're like, yo, what the fuck? You can't fucking punch people, you know? What the fuck? Who are you? You're a fucking man. We're fucking teenagers, you know?
Right.
Like, who the fuck are you? And we're chirping cops and we're just being like, what the fuck?
Which in Canada,
Yeah.
in LA, you're done.
You're done.
You don't even get to that. There's no, what are you doing? You're fucking smoked.
Right.
Like, there's no fucking around. There's no
Right.
like, hey man, like you're just.
There's no
fucking-
hey man. There's
No.
no like a bunch of
What are
like
you doing?
white privileged kids
No.
circling me like,
Yeah.
hey man, what
No.
are you doing, copper?
Yeah, you're just getting fucking beat. So,
Yes. Okay. So, well, we're about to get beat. So we're just like, okay, what the fuck? And then we're like, give us your badge number, man. And we're
Yeah.
like, fucking whatever. And then the cop takes his badge off or something.
Ooh.
And then he like fucking punches my brother in the face. And then
Now, when he punches him, does he tee off or is it just like does he go?
he kind of just like, no, like the cop is just kind of like pushing him and then just like kind of just punches him
stiff
from standing.
jab,
Like,
right.
yeah, just like a punch. And he punches him. And then all of a sudden, like literally out of a movie, my brother just like turns around and like sees me, kind of like smiles, and then just like fully turns around and deads this cop.
What?
And just cop drops.
As a younger brother.
As a younger brother.
I have a young brother.
Yeah.
I'm his big brother.
Yeah.
Right? You know, as a younger brother.
Brian.
No, Brad. Okay. So as a young brother, seeing your brother do that is like you just saw Excalibur.
All of a sudden, Rage Against the Machine starts playing.
Yeah.
You know?
Fuck you! I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah, just like Zach De La Roca comes out.
He's
like
like,
Tom
"Ah!"
Morello's on the top of the motel playing a guitar solo. It's just like fully like Rage Against the Machine is playing on the roof of this motel
just
now.
teenage heaven. Yeah.
Yeah, teenage. We're just like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, we're all like, ah! It switches from like cheering to be like, fuck! And literally we start fighting cops.
Amazing.
And so we kind of we run at the because like in my brain it was kind of fucked. Like we just like it was an instinctual thing, and maybe our complete ignorance or like white privilege allowed us to like charge cops.
Small town shit.
So we kind of charge cops, and then instantly like 50 cops just roll.
Right.
And we start getting stomped. We get pepper sprayed.
Right.
They are like literally there's like 4 cops working my brother.
Right.
And like just fully like stomping.
party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like really fucking him up. And at one point, I'm being held like both of my arms are being held literally by like one cop each, and then one cop's just standing in front of me, just like feeding me in the face.
Nice.
And then like opening my mouth and pepper spraying me in the mouth,
Oh.
and then just like feeding me, and I'm just like getting like
Just starfish.
just getting work. And then they drag me to the back of the cop car.
Yeah.
And I'm like handcuffed now. I'm in the back of the thing, just like black out, like just all fucking mangled, pepper sprayed. And then literally like every like 5 minutes, it seems, a cop just comes, opens the door, pepper sprays me, and closes the door. And just like walks away. And then eventually they pull me out of the back of the cop car, and I'm up against like the cop car, and I'm like, fuck you, you fucking pig, fucking fucks. And I'm like tweaking out. And they're like, and the one cop like comes in and he's like, we killed your fucking brother. You fucking don't hit a cop. Your brother's fucking dead. Fuck you. Your brother's fucking dead. And then I'm just like, no, he's not. He's right there. He's 3 cars down, you idiot. And I'm like chirping. I'm still like, you can't take, I'm fucking me. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just like, fuck you. He's not fucking dead.
Right.
You fucking idiots. And then he like legitimately, it's like out of a movie, this guy. He kicks out the window somehow.
Fuck.
And he kicks out the fucking window, and then all the cops run back over there. And then we finally get to the police station. It's like 6 a.m. by this time. He gets brought into another cell, and like he gets pumped again because once he gets to the cell, then they're like, oh, you like to fucking fight cops.
Right.
He gets worked again.
Right.
I get brought into another cell. But there's a few other of our buddies with us, and we all get put in individual cells. And then my dad rolled. We finally get a few hours. Few hours go by, whatever. And my dad comes and he grabs us all. He brings us to the hospital so we can document it.
Yeah.
So we can get like photos and all checkups and all this kind of shit. My dad's he's yelling at us, being like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
It's really fucking scary shit.
Yeah.
And then once again, like we get back to my house and like all of my friends are there writing out statements for my dad got all of the kids to come and freshen their memories, write out full statements. And our one friend who kind of saved the day memorized every single person's like badge number and license plate.
Oh, was that just like
It was this guy, Tristan.
he's the guy with Asperger's? Who just
Dude,
like
he memorized. There was no fucking cell phones.
right.
He memorized license plates and fucking badge numbers. Crazy ass shit.
The Rain Man in the crew was like,
And that
46,
like saved us
49.
because we could pinpoint who was there.
Right.
And we ended up going to court for like 2 years.
Right.
And the main officers that like the 2 big guys, like the one that my brother smoked,
Right.
who once he got up, he really worked Steve. And then but it was still whatever. It's still like there's nothing. There's for an outsider, a freak, a fat kid, a kid who used to paint his fingernails, dye his hair green, get called a faggot. Used to get like just for anyone that has been like stepped on or like crushed and hating society, to see your older brother like drop a cop is
Right.
the coolest thing in the history of fucking older brothers. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
That was like, I was like, he's like saving Rapunzel. He was just like the coolest. There isn't any, and anytime you tell that story, anytime I've told that story, it's like almost unbelievable.
Yeah.
That like they just didn't pull their gun out and like shoot him. But
For
like,
sure.
but we just, whatever. It was like a good old fashioned fight. And
How was the damage to Beef?
we just like he got fucked up. His eye got fucked up. He had to get plastic surgery.
Okay.
And
Nothing broken, no broken jaw, lost teeth,
No, nothing.
internal bleeding, nothing.
No, nothing.
He got fucking jumped like 5 times by the cops and nothing.
nothing too gnarly.
Really?
But even dude, yeah, like not a lot. Like I have photos of me,
Yeah.
and it's like not that bad, really.
Right.
Like it's like it looks like I got like rash guarded all over my face and some stuff. And I got like fat lips and that's it, really.
Pepper spray
We got
in the
potato heads. It's crazy because it's just like I still have never had like a fully closed black eye punch out. I'm hungry right now. Who can I order from in a safe manner? Don't worry. Get off the phone and go on your app and download DoorDash. DoorDash is the app to order right now. Get all the yummy food. I am craving Chinese, Mexican. I want some pho. I want some soup. I don't know what I want. I'm going to order all of them. DoorDash has got you. DoorDash is the best food delivery app in the galaxy, the entire universe. The universe. And right now, it's so easy to order on the app. Right now, check this out. I'm on the app. I'm hungo. I want the app. What's going on? Easy to order. Contactless delivery. Is that restaurant on it that you love, that you crave, that you miss? Yes. Now, right now, our listeners, listening right now or watching or listening, you can get $5 off your first order. of 15 or more. 0 delivery fees for the first month when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code PTA. All right? That's $5 off the order. Your first order, 0 delivery fees. When you download the DoorDash app in the App Store, enter the code PTA. Now, enter the code PTA. DoorDash. Don't forget, you go to the App Store.
Right.
Like, I always said that, like, I have a potato head. When I used to get really fucked, there was one New Year's, and I had a lineup of my friends at a house party punching me as hard as they could in the face.
Okay.
Like, I have multiple friends that can contest to this. And I would be the drunk guy being like, punch me in the face as hard as you can. But don't. And I'd
Where?
be like, and I'd
in
be
the
like,
nose? In the cheek?
anywhere in my face.
Right in the
Hit
fucking
me.
eye.
Punch me in the eye.
You could take it.
Not a problem. I had a potato, like, I was just like, and I, like, dude.
Big old fucking melon head. Just
Dude. And that was and then I later, if it was your birthday, I would like sneak up to you and I'd give you I'd give my friends black eyes for their birthday.
oh my God.
And so, like, I used it, and I one time I did it to my buddy Jimmy, and we were in the park, and I just like snuck up on him, and I was just like, boom, because I would just do it with the back of my hand with my knuckles. So, like, I know that I would, like, you know, give him a black eye.
Yeah.
And I'd always just be like, boom. I was like a backhand.
Yeah. And it was
And
cool.
Jimmy was so bummed. He was like an art dude. He's like a pretty big artist now. But it was so funny. He emailed me some photos literally the other day. He's got like 3 kids now, and he's all grown up. And it's so funny because he sent me like all these photos from that time.
Right.
And it's just like amazing. And he sent me a photo of him with his black eye. It's fucking sick. But
So you guys played rough.
it was like in the funnest way.
Right, yeah.
I even think of that cop fight. I think back on it, and I was
Yeah.
just like, it was like being like rebel rousers.
Nothing traumatic really happened at the end of the day. It was actually kind of sick.
Yeah, besides us having like, because we had to go to court because my brother had like assaulting an officer charge,
Right.
which is not good because every time you get pulled over, you're gonna get fucked
right,
with, and
right.
like crossing the border and just having that assaulting an officer charge. So we ended up going to court, and we ended up winning and getting like early retirements out of some multiple officers.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, like, because it was just a bunch of fucking, imagine like, dude, it was in front of half of our high school.
So the kids
So imagine
won.
like every fucking white kid in town shows up to court and we're like, yep, that's the cop. Those guys were beating up all of the kids. We're kids.
Yeah.
I was in grade 11.
Right.
You know, like that's a 17-year-old kid
Right.
fighting men in Canada. Like that, like, okay, with a lot of witnesses.
Right.
Anyway,
kids-
so that was a nice time.
The kids won.
Dude,
The kids won that one.
yo, fuck cops.
One for the kids. Fuck them.
And you know that, and the thing about cops, I've publicly said multiple times, like, fuck cops, I hate fucking cops. And a lot of people, because I talk about how my grandfather was the chief of police, they're like, how could you disrespect your grandfather and all this bullshit? I'm like, yo, fuck cops till the day I die. Fuck cops forever. I love my grandfather. He never once spoke about the job. We never played with his uniform. He never once spoke to us about his job. He was a loving grandfather that it was completely separate. I never even knew he was a cop, really.
Right.
You know? But as long as cops are fucking their brand, I always say, I love the guys, I hate the brand. Because
Right.
I'm friends with a lot of cops, actually.
Right.
But fuck cops, because they're fucking, you can't fight the cops. That you like, they're out there killing people, being protected, and they're fucked. So it's just like, anyway, fuck cops. I hate cops.
All right.
Okay, good talk. Powerful truth angels. So then where do you want to go from there? That's high school.
That's high school.
And then high school is
Oh,
great.
hold on. Trish. Talk about the
So
lovely
me
Trish.
and Trisha.
Where did you meet Trish? The first time you saw Trish?
The first time I saw Trish?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Let's
Okay.
talk about that.
So I had audio video class
Okay.
with her best friend, who was also named Patricia.
Okay.
She was a ginge. And I was just like,
Gross.
no, I love gingers.
Kitty.
Anyway, so I kind of had a crush on Patricia, the other one. And I used to call them, they were like the two, you know, Trish was like a goth, like PJ Harvey,
Yeah.
fucking, you know, whatever, goth. She was a goth.
Right.
And her lineage is all goth. She's like the baby of 4 sisters that are all goths.
Nice.
And her
Just a
her
family
oldest
of-
sister used to go see like not Bauhaus, but like Susie and the Banshees.
Family of bat women.
Yeah, like capes, white paint, and like real goths.
Big tits.
Real goth. Big. Yeah. Yes, they're
goth.
big Italian ladies with breasts.
Nice.
And they were a team. Like I used to call them the Pats. And whenever I'd walk by them in high school, I'd be like, "Hey, Pats!" Like
that was your get down. You're just like,
yeah, I just like, "Wah!"
Hey, Trish.
Yeah, but I didn't. And then the very first time, like I saw Trish all the time. And then the very first time we were at every year there's a festival called the Friendship Festival in Fort Erie. So it was the unifying music festival that unified Buffalo, New York, and Fort Erie because we're just separated by the Niagara River. Mm-hmm. Every year they get mediocre Canadiana type bands to play and whatever. We were there at the Friendship Festival. We're watching. I'm really high on mushrooms. And all of a sudden, Patricia Heard and Patricia Spencer like roll up. And I'm like, oh my God. And I just grabbed them and I just started making out with both of them. And I just like,
what?
And I'm just like making out. We're at the festival, free spirits. I'm on shrooms. And we're just like kind of all making out. And we're like, and we're all just making out. And I'm just like stoked. And this is the best. I'm making out with 2 chicks and it's great. And I'm like, this is the best.
Oh, wait, had you ever hooked up with either one of them before?
No. It was just like one of those moments. Yeah, it was like one of those moments.
Just knew. You're like,
I was just high on mushrooms and I grabbed them both and started kissing them both. And
they were like with it.
Yeah, they were kind of with it. Triple kiss.
Having fun.
And then all of a sudden, I think something clicked and they both like started like laughing and then they just like ran away.
Right.
And I was just like, okay, and then I went on with my idiot self. And then I didn't speak to either of them really ever again. And then I got a phone call from one of Trish's best friends. And I got the phone call from this person. And my mom's like, yo, like, what's her face is on the phone? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm suspended from high school at this time for something stupid. And it was right around prom. And I was like, fuck, is she going to ask me to fucking prom? I don't want to go to prom with her. And I'm like, I got to take this phone call. So I go upstairs to the kitchen where the phone is. I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, what?
Hey, what's up? Don't ask me to prom.
Yeah, like, what the fuck you calling me for? Yeah, like, hey.
What the fuck?
Like high school dude. Like, hey. And she's like, will you go to prom with Patricia Spencer? And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I made out with her before. She's like a hot goth.
Yeah.
I was like, let's get it.
So it was just dropped in your lap.
And then all of a sudden, she's like, well, here's Trisha's number. Call her.
Woo.
And I'm like, I get Trisha's number and I call her. I'm like, hey, what's up, Pat? Like, what's good? I was like, why don't you come over to my garage and smoke a ton of weed? And she's like, oh, okay. And she comes over and it's just like 20 guys in my garage and I'm like in the back and I'm just like, hey, come on in. Like,
that's fun.
And then like Trish just like walks into my garage and we're all just like wearing gas masks, smoking weed.
What is this?
I'm like, sit down. And then we used to have, we had a foot heater. So we would just pass the foot heater around because it was so cold in the wintertime. So we just passed a little foot heater around. And then I was like, hey, Trish. And I was like, come over here. It's warmer over here. And I set her up with the foot warmer.
Yeah.
And then she hung out for, I think she maybe smoked weed. I'm not really sure. And she's like, I'm going to go. And
there's 20 dudes here. They're all stoned.
Yeah. Everyone's just stoned, like eating boogers and like making fun of chicks probably.
Let me just hold on. What about like the way you approach all that shit with Trish, right? There's no like, you never were thinking about what you were going to say. You're just like, fuck, come over.
Have I ever thought about anything?
No, I didn't know if you've always been that way. That's why I'm asking.
This has been me.
This is you. This is the through line. Just
yeah, kind of.
Okay,
rip it.
Okay, grip it and rip it. Sure.
I don't know.
All right.
I'm always dumb enough to jump, you know?
That's right.
And so, and then the next day or whatever, then I like walked her out to her car. I think I gave her like a weird, awkward peck. Like she was like, I'm not here for like I was just.
I'm not here to make out.
Yeah, like I got, I was like stoned. I was like, are we going to make out? I was like, made out with you like a year ago.
Yeah.
And then like the next day, I think we went on a date.
Nice.
And we went on a date, and the date was like we went and got chicken finger subs from the gas station, like a fucking Tim's. Went down to Tim Hortons, grabbed some double doubles, and we went down to this dock I know down on the river. And it's this like old sketchy dock, and we went down on the dock and hung out on the river, ate some subs, made out, drank coffee.
The fuck? You went down to a dock by the river and ate fucking hoagies? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That was like our first like official date.
That's like a small town Canada date. Just
I guess so. Looking over the Buffalo skyline.
Wow. And it's safe. You can just. It was like romantic. Or
It's
was
still there. I can show you the dock. I have photos. Every time I go by, I like I drive by. It's on the south end of Fort Erie.
Trish is where it happened.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, I know. That's where we yeah. Okay, Maddie.
So.
And then it kind of, I don't know. It's crazy. And then we just have been together for like 21 years.
I don't even know how that works. That's crazy.
And me and Trish are the most perfect couple in the world.
Okay.
Because we work together and we compromise and we hear each other and we learn from each other. And I've made a lot of mistakes. She really hasn't made too many mistakes.
Yeah, I think Trish is doing a lot of the compromising.
She's doing a lot of she has, it wasn't easy. There was a lot of long periods of like me being a blackout drunk.
Right.
Being a chef where I would work for 12, 15 hours and then not come home.
This one time I was going to go on a date and it was a mess down there, and I'm talking down there about my dick, and my balls were hairy. It was overgrown. It looked like a bunch of tarantulas on spring break in a fraternity for being hairy. I don't know. It was horrible. So I thought I'd clean it all up. Got the old shaver out. Got a lather going. Did a little couple glides. Looked the other way. Sliced my dick. Big long slice of my dick. So then I'm wrapping my dick in toilet paper, trying to stop the bleeding. And suffice to say, the night was ruined because no one wants to pull their pants down and reveal a long, scabby mark on their penis. Kind of a deal breaker. I don't want this to happen to you guys. I want you guys to be smooth. I want all your genitals to be fucking sculpted and smoother than foam. I want them to just be like marble, okay? Now, this is where we talk about a little something I like to call Manscaped, all right? Start taking notes because ball slicing and dick cutting is a thing of the past. Time to get your private foliage in the best shape of its life. No more cuts and nicks with the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. This is their third generation trimmer featuring advanced skin safe technology so you can keep your bad boys nice and smooth like a porcelain statue. The Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created and just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0. When I tell you this thing is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes so you can take a longer shave. 90 minutes! It's a lot of shaving. You can shave a lot. You can shave everybody in your apartment with that time on that shaver. One of the coolest features is the LED light, which illuminates grooming areas for a closer, more precise trimming. This is like a sniper rifle for your nut hair. And let's not forget the charging stand. Show them what we're off loud and proud because this intelligently designed stand is a rapid charging dock powered by USB. So many people have written in stories about how the Lawnmower 3.0 has changed their lives. They even included pics so I could see the smoothest for myself, and they're not kidding. Some of the smoothest piles of dicks and balls I've ever seen in my life. You need to try this out for yourself. 20% off plus free shipping with the code PTA at manscaped.com. 20% off plus free shipping with the code PTA at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code PTA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off. That's 20% off. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code PTA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code PTA. Your partner, your dick, and your balls will thank you.
You know,
because you're out partying.
Because
after.
I'd leave at 1. Like my curfew, Trisha. Like when we started like living, because we went to different colleges.
Yeah.
So then we started dating, go to prom, hang out. Then she's going to London, Ontario. I'm going to Toronto. That's like a 2.5 hour distance. So then I go to my dorm. She goes to her dorm. I'm going to Humber. She's going to like Fanshawe for fashion merchandising or some shit. And then we have like, we go straight into like a long distance relationship. Mm-hmm. But for me, you know, I think it was just like I don't know. We had a connection where we just like, I don't know. We loved each other right away.
You guys had just instant kinship.
Yeah. Like through college, I never had those moments of like, hey man, like maybe like this isn't working out and I want to start fucking all these chicks in my dorm. Like I never really had to have, like, I think like, because I don't know. I never had to have those moments or stresses really. I always loved Trish and Trish always like kind of loved me. Yeah. Cause and Trisha loves me. You know, what's crazy. No matter the amount that I can say how much I love Trish, I know that Trisha loves me 10,000 times more. Yeah. Trisha is like gothically in love with me. Right. And in a sense of like, if anybody ever fucks with me, if anybody ever says anything negative about me, she like squashes it hard.
Right.
And like I've even been in situations where I've like thrown a beer on some fucking girl's head at a house party because she said something I didn't agree with or something, and
Right.
I threw a beer on somebody.
You didn't
and
like her makeup.
And then all of a sudden she like spits in my face, and then Trisha walks in the room's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Yo, man, like this girl spit in my face," and then like Trisha's like, "What? She should be lucky to have your spit on your face or something." I don't know. She just fights people for me. She's the best. We were just like ride or die. Like it was a crazy. It was great. And the thing is, like, she comes from such an amazing household. Like she has a beautiful home on the lake, and her dad's a dentist. Her mom is a beautiful mom that took care of all of the children. And she comes from such a fucking great family. And I come from such a great family.
That's why you guys connected and stuck, because you guys both come from wholesome places.
I think so. Or families that have like, we both come from homes that are, nobody's perfect. I'm not saying like anything's perfect. I'm saying there's chaos, obviously. There's chaos. There's craziness. There's times where maybe, there's crazy shit.
Yeah.
There's crazy fucking shit. No family is fucking perfect because nobody is perfect. So everyone is fucked. But we both come to family. We both come from families that are, my parents have been together since they were 16. Her parents have been together since like they were like 20.
Right.
And I think that like that is attractive. Like I always, no matter how chaotic my life was, I always knew that I wanted children with her.
Right. No matter what was going on, no
matter what, like I always knew like she would be the mother of our children. And I always, and then even like, and we've had some rocky years. And like, even like around year 10, we had a bit of a, we had some time away from each other and stuff. And it's still like, it at 20, I was like 26, we had some time away from each other. And when we came back, it was very difficult. It was very harsh. It was very intense.
You had to re-meet each other.
And yeah, and Trisha had to like, she made me like become a different person.
You had to earn her trust again. Trisha was your first, and she's going to be your last.
100%. And now,
no doubt.
And now we're in a position now where Trishy and me are in like the craziest position because we have 2 amazing children. We own a farm. And now all I'm doing is trying to like set ourselves up so we can have an amazing life.
Right.
And I'm doing exactly what I want to do.
Right.
And I'm running restaurant. We're opening restaurants soon. We're doing like, how is this even real?
Right.
And it's just like, it is an amazing thing my whole life where it's just like, I never thought I would be famous. I never thought, not that I am like you just saying that, but I'm known.
Famous is a little crazy.
Famous is a little crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not famous. I'm like well known.
Some people know you.
Some people know me.
Right.
I mean,
you do.
But it's just like,
I will say when people do, Matty, like drive by out of cars, like
people are asking for photos.
I'm
talking
known. Shit, but you guys.
I'm known enough.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm famous. Like I'm not. I don't think I'm Brad Pitt. I don't think I'm like a
you are definitely Brad Pitt.
I'm an E. I'm E or G.
JK.
JK.
You're
I'm
an L.
JK.
You're an L.
I'm an L.
You're an
I'm
L
taking
lister.
an L.
Yeah.
I'm an L lister. I got a podcast with you, so I'm like literally nobody.
Absolutely. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's with restaurants and being a chef and the thing too that I think we both love is that we have such an amazing life now and we both earned it. Because it was so chaotic and I was such a mess. But I was always good enough at being a chef that I never really lost it. And I was such a psychopath and I was such a fucking selfish asshole. And she was always never lost that light in me, I guess.
Right.
Where I was always still something to her.
Oh, yeah.
And she always believed in me.
Uh-huh.
And then when things started picking up and I started like, when I got sober, that was like a wild, wild thing. So when I got sober, and this is the thing, when I'm making fun of you about your kitchen, and you're like, I've never seen it this clean, and it's really nice. And you're like, you've always been with Trisha. You've always had Trisha protecting you. A lot of my friends say the exact same fucking things. Uh-huh. And when I got sober, I had to figure out if I was codependent or if where I was on that whole thing. And what I was really contributing to our relationship. And if I was just using her. And if I had to, the scariest thing for me when I got sober was, do I really love Trish? Or am I using her?
Yeah.
And that is the fucking gnarliest, and I've never really said that publicly,
Right.
but that's the truest.
You had to get honest.
I had to get very honest, and I had conversations with her about that honesty and about being like, hey, I just want you to know that these are the things that I'm thinking. And I really hope by the time I'm done doing all of these things that I wasn't using you. And I really hope that I'm like, I think that because I do think that I love you. And I feel it. I feel it. But I'm going to do a lot of this work and step work.
This is why you're living with her or not?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
What do you mean living with her?
Okay, you're doing the step work and you're telling her, hey, I got to figure out if I love you or if I've been using you for your whole life.
Just like...
Where are you living? You're living under her roof?
We're living together. Yeah. We're back.
Hey!
We're living together. Omar.
Give her some water.
Omar, you need some water?
Yeah. It's over by the...
Omar,
It's in the set.
water.
It's back there. Yeah, she needs water or food. That's why she's barking at me. Hold on, Omar.
Omar.
What's that? Okay, we can keep going.
We're going to keep
yeah,
going.
We're
in it now.
We're trucking. Omar, go. Go.
Omar.
I got to get... Hold on.
Okay, you deal with Omar.
Go. So Trish knew... She backed this horse.
She backed this horse. She had my number. She had investment.
She backed the right horse. The horse, her.
And
she was gonna back you. Listen, whatever the fuck happened to you, she had your back.
100%.
So if you would have ended up being a fucking degenerate dude,
I think we were before I got clean. I think she was like, I was gonna lose her.
Right.
She was
because she got to put her foot down.
Well, she's like, you can't lie to me about using drugs because after my heart attack at 29, I turned into a really crazy person because I had to lie. Before I was good time Matty. I could do coke in front of anyone. If I showed up at your house party, I wasn't a guy that would hide in the bathroom and do drugs. Yeah. I'd do it openly and just be talking to you and like fucking do key bumps. Like it was like, I was like, what? Cocaine's different than smoking cigarettes? Yeah. Who the fuck are you? You're going to judge me? Right. Like I was that guy. Right. I'd be like, I would do coke in front of anybody. I'd be talking to somebody and be like, oh yeah, cool, man. Yeah. Yeah. You know, like I didn't. It wasn't embarrassing for me.
Right.
I think it's weird when you go in the bathroom and hide it and you come out and you're like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, I'm doing coke. I fucking love cocaine. Like, cocaine's the best. Do you want to do, you don't do cocaine? No? Okay, perfect.
Oh, you don't know? You don't know how good this is?
I was with all these amazing, like, high-profile chefs in New York one time.
Yeah.
And we were at this event and we went to this crazy party and I'm with, like, literally some of the best chefs in the world.
Yeah.
And I was just like, do you guys want to do coke? And they were like, no. And I was like, I'd do a bunch of coke. And then I just walk right back. I was like, hey, do you guys want to, like, do some coke? And, like, literally I found out the next day I was, like, walked out of that party because they were, like, the best chefs in, like, the world visiting from all over the world at this thing in Brooklyn. And I was, like, just doing coke, like, in this thing. And I was just like, hey, do you guys want some? And everyone's like, what?
Like,
who is
like,
this
be
guy?
Polite and go hide and do
yeah,
it. Don't
like
do it in front of us.
No one. There's like journalists in the room. Yeah. Like I was just like a maniac.
You have no fear for your reputation or who might hire you. You don't give a fuck.
No, I didn't give a fuck about. Yeah, cocaine is the best.
Cocaine rules.
And what was I saying? Anyway,
you did coke with abandon in front of anybody. So it's
but anyway, so that was like, and I was doing that after my heart attack, and so. Trisha she didn't give a fuck that I was using drugs. She gave a fuck that I was lying. Because I had to lie because no drug dealer would sell me drugs. None of my friends, if I walked into a bar in Toronto, there was a point where I was not allowed in a lot of bars.
Right.
I was banned from my own night, or like the nightclub that was connected to our restaurant. I was barred from my favorite, like, I really wasn't allowed to go into Ronnie's. I wasn't allowed to go into the fucking embassy. I wasn't allowed to go into like all of these bars.
Can't go in the embassy or Ronnie's.
Well, these are my favorite. Anyone from Toronto, no, like those are my best friends' bars. I've spent more hours in Ronnie's than anywhere else in my life. Probably.
Fucking Ronnie's, man.
Bro, the best bar. I went in there the other day and brought Mortimer fucking some dumplings, and I hadn't been there in years and years and years, and I went there. It was like 5 o'clock, so I was like, he's like, it's slow. There's nobody here. Come by, and I brought him some dumplings, and I just sat in that bar, and I was like, fuck. I have thrown up on that floor so many times. So many fucking times I've thrown up on that floor. And but I was lying. And Trisha, the whole thing. When I had my last night on November I think it was like November 10th. Because my clean date was November 12th. Because I don't count the last day I drank as my clean date. So November 12th was like my clean date. And everyone, like, I was going to lose the restaurant. And they were all like, we're going to tell Trish everything. My restaurant, the partners. They're like, we're going to tell Trish everything. We're going to tell her that you're like stealing a lot of money from us, that you're doing coke like every night again, and we're not
after the heart attack.
Yeah. And
you're trying to destroy yourself.
I was deep. I was very I've never been, because it's truly, I am this happy guy. I don't have a lot of demons.
Right.
And I've dug deep. And I'm like, I'm very broken. I've had a lot of trauma, and I've dealt with that, and I've forgiven, and I've understood, and I've done a lot of crazy stuff.
But the trauma's got nothing to do with this personality. Which
no,
is
this was different.
The personality's always been, this is it. Kiss me, fuck me, snort it. Like, that's it. That's been you from jump.
Yeah.
You don't think twice about nothing. You just go.
No, I go.
That's got nothing to do with what may have happened or what.
No, I think it was just like, I'm just like the middle kid. You know, I want that attention.
Right.
I just want that attention. And then and then I stopped, and then I had to figure out if everything was real that was around me.
Right. Okay.
You know? And then Trishy, like, when I started getting it clean, it was one night we were talking, and she's like, you haven't talked to me this much in like 10 years. And I was just like, what do you mean? Like, we talk all the time. She's like, we've been talking for hours. When was the last time we've even seen each other for hours? I see you in the morning when you're hungover, and you like beg me for a blowjob. And and I'm just like,
Trish, suck it.
Oh, dude,
please suck it.
Yeah. And then she's like, I see you when you're fucked up, and she's like, this is like high school shit, and it really kind of sparked something. And we've been together for so long, and even the crazy thing too is I didn't even ask her to get, like, when I got clean. Like, it took me like 2 years of being clean to even ask her to marry me. And then, because I never even I never even thought of marriage. I never thought of anything. Like, I was like, no, you don't need a piece of paper. I was like, you're like, we're partners. Like, this is a thing. I don't need a piece of paper to say, being punk or whatever the fuck it was. I was like, I don't want the government knowing I'm married to you. I'm like, we are together. We're partners. We're like fucking, and it's crazy now, because I even think, like, she would say, like, we're like soulmates. And I'd always make fun of her. I'm like, oh yeah, we're soulmates. It like clicked. I'm like, and then I'm like, 22, 21 years down the road, I'm like, dude, there's nobody else I'd want to spend the rest of my life with. And I'm like, and I see us growing old genuinely. I see us building these children and developing our kids and helping them become whoever they want to be. And it's like all of the life experiences I've had is now I'm at this position where I've never had money ever. And I've acted a fool even with my money. Not that I have a lot of money, but I have enough money that I can do stupid things, like walk into Gucci and buy a bunch of stupid stuff. And then I was like, okay, I got to stop. I never walked into Gucci when I was punk.
Right.
So why the fuck am I didn't like that shit when I had nothing. So I'm trying, and
you bought those furry loafers a few years back.
I bought the furry loafer. I have a ton of
which I wanted to buy those.
I'll give them to you. I still got them.
They won't fit me.
What do you mean? We have the same size feet. I'm size 13.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm size. Yes, we have the same size feet.
Oh, shoot them.
Special announcement. Keeps.com, baby. Powerful truth angels coming at you. Once again, we got some male pattern baldness coming straight to the dome. Straight to the dome, and you gotta prevent it before it happens to you. And if it happens to you, guess what you can do? You can go to keeps.com and /PTA. And there, you're gonna get an amazing gift. You're gonna get the first month free. For keeps.com. Keeps.com. Prevention. Guess what? FDA approved. Get ahead of male pattern baldness right now. Keeps coming. PTA, baby. First month free. Get it. So it's one of those things where it's just like, because of like getting clean, working with Vice, all of these things have made this weird fucking building blocks. And I also reference like building your own shit house, because it's just like everyone has a pile of shit, right? What can you make your shit out of and into? So if you have a pile of shit, a hot pile of shit stinks. Yeah. You can't really do much with it. But if you were to take that shit and build it into like a little shit brick and start a little shit wall and build out a little shit window, a little shit door, you take it and you make something out of it.
That's crazy.
But then all of a sudden, life isn't perfect, but I would rather have a shit bricked house made out of dry shit, because dry shit doesn't smell. Okay. Than a hot pile of shit over here. Because it's the same fucking shit.
You're making lemonades out of lemons.
Yeah. Right. But a shit house. I like the shit bricks.
Shit house.
Fucking shit brick. Okay. Fucking shit house. Wow. And so now I got my own shit house with my beautiful wife and my powerful children. And you know, Trish is in this place where she gets to garden, and we're planting this crazy vegetable garden next season. And we're doing all of these things. And it's just like, this is another giant brick in my shit house. Right. This podcast. And it's just like, all I'm trying to do is like, I came from nothing. I was good enough chef to get where I needed to get. I was a good enough drug addict that I didn't die. Yeah. And
you got lucky.
Dude.
It's got nothing to do with
after my heart attack, I literally, every single time I fucking shoveled coke in my face, I had to verbally, out loud, be like, fuck it. No. And I never had to say fuck it before. Right. And then that's when I knew, when I went into the rooms, that I was a drug addict. Right. Because every single time.
Because there was no, you didn't have
I was the most ignorant. I had zero guilt.
You're like,
I never had guilt.
In you. Yeah, you don't have guilt. Yeah.
I had no guilt.
I get it.
And then that was the biggest thing. When I first started going to meetings, it was I always talked about the lying. Because I never was a liar. You know? And then all of a sudden I turned into this like wild psycho. I was stealing from this guy. I was taking this. And then it was like a thing when I really got clean, when I was still just like the chef at Parts and Labor, and I wrote out every single dollar that I stole or owed, and it was $36,000. And I had it on this big stupid piece of paper, and I had a whole grid. And I made this like Excel sheet. And by the end of the year, I was going to have it paid off. And it was right at the exact same time that I started doing stuff with Vice. So I had just a little bit more, not that Vice pays a lot of money, but I had a little bit more money than what I was making as a salaried chef. And so then I could just chip away at it. Right. And then all of a sudden I realized that, and the thing that I think makes me obsess about like money and success, and because I never really had it growing up, like fully, you know, because we were just like that family that was like one shoe a year type of family. Right. And when I paid that off, I felt a feeling of financial happiness, or like a happiness that I was just like, this is a crazy feel. I'm debt free.
You were free.
I was debt free. Right. And then I was on a path. And then I was just like, now I'm not free. Instantly, I was like, I'm free. And then instantly, I was like, now I need savings so I can quit my job and become my own man. Right. And then I was like, Trish, how much money do I need? I want to have 1 year's worth of bills and everything, and we're going to be okay. And because Trisha was always a successful person, she used to be the store director of the Urban Outfitters. She opened the biggest Urban Outfitters in Toronto, and she was like the opening store manager. She ran that store for years and years and years, then left that and was the store director for J. Crew. And she opened all I think she opened up 4 J. Crews in Toronto. Uh-huh. So she was always successful. And then when I got clean, the $36,000, I could have borrowed that probably from Trish. And Trish was like, I'm not paying your debt on that. I've been on this ride. I'm not giving you any, because I kind of was like, hey, like maybe we could borrow money from your parents or do something, but still being manipulative.
Right.
And she's like, no. She's like, I'll change how we live, but I'm not going to give you my money. And so then I was like, okay, what does that mean? She's like, why don't we, hey, check this out, move from this. We were renting like a nice house in Toronto, in Parkdale. It was like it wasn't a whole house. It was like the first level of a house. And we found a 1-bedroom apartment on top of a fucking Momo shop in Parkdale.
Fuck is a Momo shop?
Momo, the Tibetan like dumplings. So Loga's Corner is this like pretty sick fucking Momo shop in Parkdale.
Okay.
Shout out to Loga. And we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. It was $950. And because we moved into this one little bedroom, one small, like the whole apartment was the size of this room.
Right.
And we lived there, and that's how we could financially like live, and I could pay back my debt. So she changed her living circumstances to allow me to, you know, she's just a boss.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
She sacrificed for you.
Yeah. Many times over.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, all we're doing is having like amazing children, and like she gardens and just like it has the best life ever. And she wrote a kid's book, and she's just doing all this amazing stuff. And I think it's amazing. And I think she's like just taking a little bit of a break, because raising children is literally, you know, people make fun of it. It's like, oh, it's the hardest job ever. Or, oh man, I could stay home and fucking hang out with these kids all day. I wish I could just stay. I'm like, man, raising kids is watching. And because Trisha, like, it's not like you just watch a kid. Like, she plays with them nonstop. She's on her hands and knees, and she is heavily involved face-to-face contact with our children at all times. She's the greatest, like, powerhouse mom.
I feel like raising, if you have 2 kids and you're a mom and you're like a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a point at which you have a break from reality as a mom.
Yeah.
I've just seen it in like women.
Mom zone. You're in the
my
mom
friends'
zone.
Wives, like sometimes I look at them like, you're not here. Like, because it's too much. It's like, it's just like, like 24 hours a day, just like
Yeah.
constant. You're not even yourself. You're just like this caretaker.
Yeah.
Right. So you snap.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I think what I'm really good at is making Trisha like, we're like, we need to keep your identity. You're not just a mother. You're still Patricia.
You're goth.
You're still goth. Like, you want to put on like PJ or put on the cranes.
Yeah.
Just put on the cranes. Real fucking. Yeah. And you know, like, that's the thing where it's just like, yo, like we still want to be ourselves. I think this is like very common. This is how most people are. But it's just like, I think it's I don't know. I'm just in such a happy place, genuinely, because of like, I thrive in the mud. I lived in the mud for a long time. I can dip my toes back in there and like sleep on couches. Because most of the time I like to keep things chill, where it's like in Toronto where I stay. Like, if I'm in Toronto, I don't have an apartment in Toronto. So I sleep on my friend Marika's couch. So it's just like, I like to keep things like, I don't know. I still like to keep things punk.
Ooh, so punk. You sleep on a couch.
Well, it is humbling where I'm like, I don't have, like, it's just like, I don't have to, but it's just, I don't know. Okay. I
just slide one in there, you know.
I know, jab me up. Yeah. But it's just like, maybe I'm going to sound like a pompous loser, but it's just like, I don't have to sleep on the fucking couch. I really like sleeping on the couch. That's my safe place. My safe place is Marika, fucking Christy, and Alex, my 3 best fucking friends. And they have a giant couch, and Marika's got this beautiful house that she bought and fucking renovated. She's the best. And I sleep on that couch, and every morning everyone wakes up and we make a pot of coffee. We all sit there and it's the best. And then like if Trish and the kids want to come up, because she's been our friend for fucking like since day one. Right. So it's just like, it's just amazing to have friends, and it's amazing.
You built a life. You got a life.
I got a life.
That's what it means. That's what it means when you have a life. That's a life.
You know, it's a life, and it's a crazy fucking.
I don't have a life. You got a life.
You have a life. You have a beautiful life.
I know I have a beautiful life, but not like that. Not like that.
I think you have crazy stories, and we're going to get to that on the next Powerful Truth.
Let's not.
We're going to dig deep on Alex.
Let's not do that.
Because, you know, anyone with a past like Alex, because, you know, I've had the opposite things where, you know, I could fight cops and not get shot, where you grew up in LA, and it's a very different world. I grew up in a small town where there's 16,000 people.
Crazy.
You know, that I grew up and now it's crazy. I live back in a town where there's only 9,000 people.
Crazy.
You know, like that's where I live. Like it's, I go to the end of my driveway and I look and it's fields.
That's tight.
You know,
like
there's
that.
5 houses on my road.
I want to get out there.
Dude, we're going to podcast from the cabin.
We're going to make George and
yeah,
Jason
you guys
go
are
out
all
there.
going to come out. Well, we only need one to come really because they don't produce or do anything. They just set up 3 cameras. Who knows if the fucking shit's even in focus.
He produced a smoke machine today.
Jason has
Come on.
produced. Jason's on board. He's a fucking
Nah,
shit shoveler. He's a shit shoveler.
We're
I like
making
it.
it happen. We're making it happen.
So you know, we learned a lot about ourselves today.
Today was the episode that we did the thing we said you would never do, which is talk about Trish.
Yeah, but I
Trish
guess
life.
I
You
just
didn't
talked a lot about
You didn't
Trish.
go dark on Trish. We didn't get into your sex life or the butt play or if Trish is,
22 years of marriage or life together. You know, you got to keep things spicy.
Yeah.
You know, don't become lazy lovers. You know, reciprocate. Get, you know,
Yeah.
I like to, you know, I get her where she needs to go first.
Absolutely.
I get her
As you
because then
should.
I can, you know, I
can
underperform
coast.
often. I
Yeah.
underperform often, you know.
Yeah.
So you got to take care first, make sure she's where she needs to be,
Absolutely.
and then you have like fake passionate sex or something. I don't know.
Nice.
What?
Nice.
Uh,
What do you think, Jason? Was that an hour?
Yeah, especially counting the 2 guys.
This episode was brought to you by an iguana. I love you guys. Powerful Truth Angels number 67. It's a wrap.